know what I mean? All right, for years, the Biden administration invested millions developing and improving a phone application that was meant to streamline the immigration process. And our Kathleen Villegas joins us from Studio G with a guest to help us better understand what's going on with the app under the Trump administration. Kat, tell us a little bit more.
Hey there, Calvin. Yeah, so the CBP One app was the primary avenue for migrants to pre-schedule asylum screenings at ports of entry. That ended during President Trump's first days in office, and now the administration is launching a new version of the app available for migrants, but it has a very different purpose. Immigration lawyer Alma Rosa Nieto is here to help us break it all down. Alma, thank you so much for joining us.
Pleasure.
So let's start with the CBP One app under the Biden administration. Can you just help us understand its purpose? What exactly did it do, and was it successful?
Yes and no. It was an app that was used by people outside of the country wanting to come into the United States to claim asylum or some kind of humanitarian parole. And they were able to make an appointment from their home country before they got to the U.S. So when they got to the border, they had an appointment certain with an immigration officer or with an immigration judge. Unfortunately, it took 6 to 9 months and sometimes longer to get an appointment. There were many glitches to the application, language barriers, and the fact that there weren't enough appointments. Apparently, every day they were issuing around 1,400 appointments, leaving thousands without the ability to have an appointment.
Yeah, I remember traveling to Mexico and visiting the shelters and seeing people on their phones at 9 a.m. every single morning and trying to log in and schedule an appointment, the frustration on their faces every time the appointments would run out. Although close to 1 million people were eventually able to get some sort of relief through this application. Now, under President Trump, he took down that scheduling of that function from the CBP One app, really removing the main purpose. And that was just in the first days of the administration. And now they're relaunching the app, completely new, redesigned. It's called the CBP Home app. Tell us how this is different from the CBP One app.
Well, one is an entry app, an application used by people that want to come to the United States legally. And this new CBP Home app is an exit app. It's basically what concerns me before I go elaborate more on this. What concerns me is that if you go to CBP One, it automatically redirects you to CBP Home. And the CBP Home app, the new one, is basically so that people can turn themselves in, share their intention that they're leaving, and basically give information to ICE and Homeland Security.
That's right. And speaking of Homeland Security, the Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem said in a tweet, quote, the CBP Home app gives aliens the option to leave now and self-deport, so they may still have the opportunity to return legally in the future and live the American dream. If they don't, we will find them, we will deport them, and they will never return. I wanted to ask you, is that really the case? Does self-deportation and reporting it through this app open a door to come back legally?
I haven't seen anything in the app, so please be wary, those that are considering signing up, or if you have family, please don't advise them to sign up until they seek legal counsel. I'm wary of the app. As an experienced 40-year-plus veteran in immigration law as an attorney, I'd like to see something that states that, okay, you sign up for this app and you'll have a consular interview, or this will give you a gateway into applying for something abroad at the American Embassy. I doubt that very much. If people have been here out of status, working here without a permit, I doubt very much that signing up for this app will give them any kind of avenue to come back into the United States. A U.S. consul at an embassy will say, wait a minute, you had illegal presence in the United States for this amount of years, thus you're ineligible for a tourist visa of any sort. I'd like to see that phrase or that quote developed, and with some guarantees that there is a pathway back to the United States, which I very much doubt.
Indeed, I think that was my main question around that, because usually when you spend time in the United States illegally or without the proper documentation, it makes coming back so incredibly hard. So that comment from the Department of Homeland Security, as you mentioned, would love to see a lot more of that and how that would exactly work with the app. Immigration attorney Alma Rosa Nieto, thank you so very much for your time. We're going to check back in with you in the next hour or so we can continue this conversation, exploring this issue and answering all those pesky questions that I have. Calvin, for now, we're going to toss it back to you.
All right. Thank you so much, Kat. A great conversation there. We appreciate it.